Hey everyone, I'm Toasted Gaming, the guy who willingly plays through broken source engine experiments so you don't have to. If you haven't seen part 1 of this ranking yet, pause this video right now and go watch that first. You won't understand the whole plot if you don't watch first movie, before watching this one. And I don't want you walking to this one asking, wait, where's Handown with Freeman? That game already got cooked, medium rare, just like it deserved. So this is part 2 of my quest to rank every single Source engine game ever made. I didn't say it last time, but we're including Source 2 engine games also because there's only few of them, and if there's ever a big list of them, at least 10, we're gonna do separate ranking them. Now, who cares? So we got the good, the bad, the painfully average, and the ones that feel like someone accidentally published their Unity prototype on Steam, but used the wrong engine. I've made a bunch of these ranking videos already, from Catcore to Gold Source to Quake, so if you want to binge watch me suffer across multiple generations of janky shooters, there's a whole playlist waiting for you. Now, how did I rank these? Mostly based on my own experience. I played them, or researched them, watched videos about them, read people reviews. It's a combination of a lot of things, and the result is a very biased, very chaotic list that's still probably more organized than half these games' codes. And hey, if you're into this kind of content and want to support the channel, hit that join button. You'll get 1 week early access to new videos, priority on your suggestions, and your name in the credits as one of the brave souls funding my mental breakdowns. Alright, enough foreplay, let's dive into position 60 through 41 and see which Source games manage to climb out of a bottom dumpster, only to land in a slightly cleaner one. Tactical intervention is what happens when you take one of the original Counter-Strike devs, give him a budget, and then slam the gas pedal straight into chaos. It tries to be Counter-Strike with hostages you can shove into cars, shootouts on moving freeways, and dogs, like literal attack dogs. Sounds amazing, right? On paper, yeah. But in reality, it's jankier than a Wish.com SWAT simulator. The controls feel like your character is wearing rollerblades, the AI is laughable, and the entire thing plays like it was duct taped together at 3 AM. Points for ambition, but this one's a tactical mess, and it's dead, impossible to play. BrainBread 2 is a multiplayer zombie shooter where the only thing more brain-dead than the zombies is the gameplay. It's the sequel to a cult Half-Life 1 mod, but this time with Source engine blood splatter and 10 times the scuff. The combat feels floaty, the guns have all the punch of a nerf war, and the community, if you find one, is mostly made up of people desperately trying to remember why they installed it. It's not unplayable, but it's the gaming equivalent of a microwave pizza. Technically food, just don't expect to feel good about it. Ever wanted to experience the American Revolution with muskets, barely any people playing, and super slow gameplay? Well, Battlegrounds 3 has you covered. This multiplayer-only FPS lets you reenact historical battles using flintlocks, sabers, and bayonets. Which sounds cool, until you realize reloading a musket takes 45 real-life seconds, and the last active server is a guy from Norway yelling at bots. Visually, it's fine, the animations are even decent, but the combat is stiff, the pacing is molasses, and unless you have a group of history nerds ready to LARP and voice chat, it's gonna be a lonely tea party. Oh, look, it's Half-Life 1! But with a shiny water! Half-Life Source is the infamous port where Valve said, let's slap our new engine on the old game and call it a day. No updated models, no improved AI, no real visual overhaul. Just physics bugs and broken scripted sequences that weren't ready for Source spaghetti. It somehow feels worse than the original, and that's impressive. If you want the real deal, just play the original or Black Mesa. This version exists purely to disappoint and confuse new fans. It's like the special edition DVD no one asked for. Oh yes, Artifact. The card game that had a funeral before its birth. Made by Valve. Also killed by Valve. On paper, it was supposed to be the next big thing. A rich, strategic, multi-lane card battler set in the Dota universe, with gorgeous art and complex mechanics. But instead, Valve said, let's monetize the hell out of it, and dropped it like a hot potato when a backlash hit. The gameplay wasn't bad, the launch model was. People wanted a card game, not a stock market with goblins. Artifact 2.0 tried to fix it, but by then, the servers were emptier than Gabe Newell's announcement schedule. RIP. Counter-Strike Online 2 is the sequel to the game that proved Counter-Strike fans in Asia will tolerate anything. ONS. Built for the Korean and Chinese markets, it adds anime skins, zombie modes, and janky monetization to the classic formula. It's like CSGO and Team Fortress 2 got mixed in a cup, and then some Asian dust were sprinkled on top of it. The gameplay is fine, but the execution just feels so weird. It never found the same success as its predecessor, and it quietly disappeared. It's not the worst CS experience, but it's definitely among the weirdest. Codename Cure is like if Left 4 Dead got stripped for parts in a dark alley and rebuilt using old Source Engine assets and vague memories of military tactics. You get 5 classes, zombies, co-op missions, and a vibe that screams mod project turned Steam game after someone accidentally hit publish. It's functional, it's kind of fun in short bursts with friends, but shallow. The AI is dumber than a wet toaster, the levels are bland, and the shooting lacks impact. It's not a train wreck, but it never grows beyond its premise. This is what you play when Left 4 Dead 2 is updating and your internet sucks. This game looks like it was designed during a fever dream and somehow ends up being a very fun, short Source Engine single-player experience. That's right, it got pulled from Steam for reasons no one fully understands. Maybe it was too powerful, maybe it was too bare. Despite having multiplayer, most people played it solo and loved it. The gameplay is fast, the movement is buttery smooth with bunny hopping and ivy climbing, and the levels feel like a Quake mod ran face first into a Hanna-Barbera cartoon and then decided to get serious. It's not perfect, weapon aiming is wonky, the final boss is kind of a mess, and you may need to break out the all no clip now and then just to progress, but it's dripping with charm and originality. This is the kind of game that makes you look past the junk, because the creativity is just that good. It's stylish, chaotic, and a little broken. Kind of like me after finishing this list. Rest in peace, Beer Party. You were too pure for this world. IOSoccer is the kind of game you play when you've been banned from FIFA for yelling at 12-year-olds and want something more physics-based. It's a multiplayer soccer sim with no ball magnetism, no auto passes, just raw skill and pain. If you're good at it, it's surprisingly rewarding. If you suck, well, get ready to kick air while the ball physics haunt your dreams. There's no career mode, no flashy UI, and the community is, let's say, dedicated. It's janky, sure, but it also shows what Source can do when it's not just about headshots and crowbars. The Source Engine parkour scene's oldest religion, Kreedz Climbing, or KZ, is all about precision jumps, b-hops, surfing, and vertical masochism. There's no combat, no enemies, just you, a timer, and maps designed by sadists with a fetish for ledges. It's oddly meditative once you get into the groove, or soul-crushing, depending on how your day is going. And while it's not as flashy as newer climbing games, it earns respect by being a real challenge, not a parkour playground for babies. No wall running, no double jumps, just raw muscle memory and broken keyboards. Bloody good time is what happens when the ship and the slasher movie has some sexy time in Vegas. You play as ridiculous caricatures like Beach Babe or Clown, and your goal is to murder your assigned target without getting caught, all while being filmed on a fake reality TV set. It's stylish, chaotic, and criminally overlooked. The problem? It had like 12 players on launch and died faster than the intern who suggested this concept to Ubisoft. Still, it's a cool oddity with a lot of charm. Like Clue, but with tasers, exploding prisons, and people pooping mid-murder. I'm not making that up. Finally, a Source game that isn't trying to kill you with headshots or memes. Divinia Chronicles is a solo indie action RPG inspired by Zelda. Yes, Zelda. Made with the same engine that brought you Garry's Mod nude maps. You get real-time combat, puzzles, mana-based magic, and a surprisingly chill fantasy world. It's not AAA polished, but it's got soul. The devs clearly cared. Sure, story is not the best and UI feels like it's one step away from Comic Sans, but honestly, this is the most wholesome Source game in existence, and I'm glad it exists. No, not that kind of G-string, calm down. This G-string is a cyberpunk fever dream made by a solo developer, and it shows, in the best and worst ways. It's ambitious as hell. Wild level design, surreal storytelling, dense atmosphere, and it's all built in Source. But it's also clunky. It's confusing and has pacing like a drunk tortoise. Still, the amount of effort and sheer weirdness makes it stand out. It's like Half-Life if you smoked something before playing. Some will love it, some will rage quit after 15 minutes, but either way, it's unforgettable. Blade Symphony is Source Engine's attempt at being a fencing anime. It's a 1v1 sword fighting multiplayer game where edgy ninjas, cybermonks, and masked samurais duel with absurd flair. It feels cool, the movement is slick, the clashes look dramatic, and the community? Non-existent. But the skill ceiling is sky high, the tutorials are garbage, and if you don't know what you're doing, you'll be stylishly sliced into sushi in 10 seconds. It's niche, it's sweaty, it's dead, but damn, when it works, it's a banger. Imagine Day of Defeat, but with dinosaurs. And yes, it's exactly as stupid as it sounds. Nazis riding raptors, scientists controlling T-Rexes with machine guns, and goats strapped with explosives. This is either the dumbest idea ever, or the greatest. It started as a joke mod and somehow became a full release, and while it's janky, dated and mostly dead online, the pure commitment to the bit earns its respect. You haven't truly lived until you've screamed in German while headbutting a sniper as a Triceratops. Nuclear Dawn tried to mix FPS action with RTS commander gameplay. Basically, Battlefield meets StarCraft. One player commands from above, building bases and managing resources, while the rest fight in the trenches. And it almost worked. The maps are well designed, the classes feel good, and it's genuinely tense when coordination clicks. But lack of content, tiny player base that is dead by now, and half-baked balance issues nuked its long-term appeal. Still, it's one of the more interesting multiplayer Source games, a bold swing that just didn't land. Contagion is a zombie shooter that wants to be a grittier, more realistic cousin of Left 4 Dead. Slower pace, limited ammo, actual tension, and zombies that can be played by real people after death, but for every cool idea, there is a clunky mechanic or a map that overstays its welcome by 15 minutes. It's got atmosphere, sure, but it also has the pacing of a bad Tinder date. Not terrible, but in a world full of zombie shooters, this one just kinda shuffles in the middle of a horde. Oh boy, this one's for the Sigma males and Chaos Goblins. I is what happens when you give a philosophy student a source SDK and no adult supervision. The lore is incomprehensible, the UI is a war crime, and the tutorial teaches you nothing. But there's also hacking, psionics, mech fights, weird NPCs quoting Nietzsche, and 40 weapons that all break the game in different ways. It's a glorious mess. It's confusing, buggy, ambitious, and totally unique. You'll either uninstall it in 20 minutes or ascend to gods. Now this is the John Woo simulator you never knew you needed. It's free, it's flashy, and it lets you slow motion dive through windows with dual pistols while flipping over exploding barrels. The gameplay is shallow, the servers are a ghost town, but the style? Dripping. Every match feels like a low-budget action movie filmed in a parking garage. And I mean that as a compliment. It's dumb, it's fun, and it fully commits to the Boogaloo. It has bots, so you can still try it. Style points all the way. This one is weird. It's like Deus Ex meets Star Trek meets experimental theater. You're dropped into a futuristic airplane as a mysterious player from another universe. You're tasked with solving a murder, navigating politics, and maybe preventing a conspiracy. It's mostly dialogue, with heavy roleplay, multiple endings, and some janky combat sprinkled in. The writing is bold, the ideas are big, but the execution, it's rough around the edges like a first draft of a sci-fi novel. But still, if you're into narrative experiments, this one's worth boarding. And that wraps up part 2 of this glorious descent into Source Engine madness. If you made it this far without uninstalling Steam or throwing your PC out the window, congratulations, you're one of us now. Part 3 is coming soon, where we dive even deeper into the glorious mid-tier chaos and underrated gems of this engine. Some of the upcoming games will surprise you, some might offend you, and at least one will make you go, wait, that was a Source game? If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, smash that like button, leave a comment telling me which rankings you'd rearrange, and subscribe so you don't miss the next round of suffering. Got a game engine or weird ranking idea you want to see next? Drop it in the comments. And if you want your suggestions to jump to the top of my list, consider joining the channel. Members get 1 week early access to videos, priority on suggestions, and your name is in the credits as a true supporter of my channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in part 3. Goodbye.